Hey, what's going on, dudes and dudettes? It's Pip Surfer with another daily update for the Cowabunga system. Today's Thursday, January 21st, 2010. Hope you all are having a great day so far, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into today's update. First things first, if this is your first time visiting this blog, you're going to want to click on the link right above the video, which will say, if this is your first time visiting this blog, read this first. If you click that link, it's going to give you the rules to the system, and you're going to want to read that and learn it, and then come back once you have once you're familiar with it, and then these videos will make a lot more sense, because otherwise you're going to be kind of confused. But for those regulars that come back time and time again, I just want to welcome you. Again, thank you for coming and watching, and hopefully these videos are still helping you out, and hopefully you're getting a lot out of them. So just going to jump right into it. I have my 15-minute and my 4-hour chart open for the cable, and as I'm speaking right now, the cable is moving. I'm not sure exactly what's going on at this point, but the cable is definitely moving. You can see on my 15-minute chart here that it's just going crazy right now, but it doesn't really affect us at this point, and you'll see why in the update. But first things first is I want to look at my 4-hour chart, and I'll move this back to before midnight so you can see what it looked like. Again, our recent trend change candle is for a downtrend. This was back on the 19th, and since then haven't had any new trend change candles. Therefore, at the start of our day, we're only looking for short trades. And if I move my chart forward through today's action, you can see that there were no new trend change candles during our trading session. Therefore, the trend remained down. We still only looked for short trades the entire day. So it's pretty simple when there aren't any trend change candles in the middle of our trading session. So today was just nothing but short trades. So now I have my 15-minute chart open. I'm going to move this back to before midnight. And before I start trading, of course, I want to take a look at my news events. And you can just go to babypips.com, click on this Tools tab, and it will automatically pull up the news events for the day. Just make sure this time zone drop-down bar is set to the correct time zone that you are located. That way you have the correct time, because otherwise you'll be looking at the wrong times, and that could really be bad news for your trading. So anyways, we're looking for news that affects the sterling or the dollar, because that is the pair that we're trading. And here again, 4:30, it's the usual time spot for news for the UK, and today was no exception. You can see there was a few news events going on at 4:30. If you scroll down at 6, the sterling also had another news event, which was the UK CBI quarterly industrial trends. Move on down to 8:30. That's usually a prime time news spot for US. And today was no exception. So 8:30 we had jobless claims, continuing claims, and then finally at 10 we had the Philadelphia Fed index as well as leading indicators. So those were the big things that were going on today. So I'm just going to write down on a notepad 4:30, 6, 8:30, and 10 Eastern time. And I'm just going to jot that down so I know when they're coming out, because part of the rules is that we're not supposed to be in the market when news comes out. So you just want to write that down or set an alert or some kind of reminder to let you know when the news events are coming out. And today we had quite a few news spots. So now that I have my news ready and I know that I'm only looking for short trades, I'm now ready to begin my day. And I'm just going to move my chart forward one candle at a time and simulate a trading day and give you my thought process as the market is happening. And hopefully that'll get you thinking more like I do with the system. And that should get you in a habit, a routine, and then pretty soon after a lot of practice it'll become like second nature for you. So that's the purpose of the blog, is to really it's not necessarily to hand feed you, but it's to help you to start thinking like a trader when it comes to trading a system that's been proven to work. Okay, so now I'm going to move forward one candle at a time. Remember, we're looking for short trades, so the first indicator is going to be a crossover to the downside, and obviously you can't have that until you have a crossover to the upside. So here we had a crossover to the upside, so now I'm paying closer attention to my charts because I know that we could potentially have a crossover to the downside. And sure enough, we have one at 215. Let's see, indicators, RSI is below 50, stochastics are trending down, MACD is positive and losing value. This is a valid entry. Our news event isn't until 4:30, so we have about 2 hours for our trade to mature. So I want to enter at the close of this candle or as close to it as possible. In this case it's 62.57. Our stop's going to be at the most recent swing high at 62.95. And our target's usually at the nearest 50 or 0 level. In this case, the nearest 50 level is 62.50. That doesn't give us much room for potential profit. So in this case, we're going to go for the same amount of pips we're risking. And to figure that out, you just subtract your stop, which is 62.95. Subtract it from your entry at 62.57, and you get a difference of 38 pips. So now to find your target, you just subtract 38 pips from your entry. So we will take 62.57 and subtract 38 pips, and we get a target at 62.19. Okay, so we're just going to put that there, and now I can let my trade roll. You can see it moved favorably in our direction right away, and at 3 a.m. our target was hit. Didn't make a clean break, so you just want to go ahead and take your final profit there. Just try to exit as close as you can to the target. You might not get out right at 62.19, but just as close to it as you can. I got it at 62.23. Again, not quite at it, but close enough, and it's a win, it's a profit. Just jot that in the books and note that as another trade, and then we just move forward. So there's 3:30, and you can see the price just continue to drop, and really nice movement there. And I know what you might be thinking is like, oh man, you know, look at all these pips I'm missing out, and then that might cause you to tweak the system where you're holding on a little longer. You know, you don't want to tweak the system after every little thing. But again, little tweaks here and there are okay. Some people trade multiple lots and have different exit strategies. That's fine. But yeah, the market was really moving in our direction. There's the 430 candle. So it's just really moving down. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit because I am running out of time on my video. So I'm moving through quite quickly. We're just passing all these news events. Nothing really affecting us at this point. But here we get a crossover at 10:45. Let's see, indicators. RSI is below 50. Stochastics are trending down. MACD was positive and losing value, so this is a valid entry. Again, this is at 10:45. There's no news events anymore. We've done with all the news. So this is a valid entry. You want to enter at the close of this candle or as close to it as possible. It's at 61.72. Your stop's going to be at the most recent swing high at 62.33, and our nearest 0 or 50 levels at 61.50. And this time it gives us about 22 pips of potential profit, which is pretty good, so we'll keep it at that. And then you could just let your trade roll. And you can see the very next candle, our target is hit. It does make a clean break at this point, so you just move your stop at 61.50 and set your next target for 6100. And that's pretty close right there. And then we'll move on, and unfortunately you can see that we were stopped out on the next candle. So our target was hit, didn't get any extra pips, but on both trades we did make a nice run. And you can see that this is what I was talking about. Price is just going crazy right now. Not exactly sure what's going on, but sometimes that's how news events can happen, news candles, and that's why you don't want to be in the market during those times. But as far as right now what's going on, I'm not really sure. I'll have to do some investigating, but that's pretty much it for today's update. If you have any questions or anything like that, if you're confused, don't hesitate to ask. That's what this blog is for, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can, or post them in the forums, and I'm sure somebody else will try to help you as well. So that's it for today. Have a good one, and I will see you all on the next update. Cowabunga, dude.